What's going on, guys? I'm gonna let Telegram know. That we're live right now. That's what I'm doing. What's going on, guys? Drop your question. Drop your question. I'm letting Instagram story now. That's what I'm doing right now. What's going on, guys? What's up, Jenny? What's up, Caesar? Caesar, what's going on? What's going on? Hey, Sam. What's going on, Sam Jacob? What's up, Sam Jacob? Sama, what's going on? I'm letting Instagram story now. Live Jam Sesh Q&A. We're just going to do a quick half hour. Ask your questions, guys. Drop your questions and give the video a like when you come in. Give it a like and drop your questions. Drop your questions. All right, let Instagram story now. What's the perfect way to increase NBME scores? Sama asks. It's a very generic question. Guys, ask your question and give the live stream a like. The perfect way to increase NBME scores is a very generic question. I can do a lengthy seminar. That's why we're here. Ask specific questions. Mohammed Elmad, how's it going, dude? Should you read all the incorrects in QBank? Yeah, you should. The key thing about going through QBank is that I don't want you taking notes or making your own Anki. Okay, that's actually a very important thing. Like self Anki, making notes, it's not a good idea for time going through QBank, but read everything. Don't obsess over what you read in QBank, but read everything. EDM, what's going on? Zarak, Malik, what's going on? Guys, give the live stream a like. There's those of you here who are intentionally like, no, I'm not going to like it. Don't like the live stream. It's fine. Don't like it. Ask for free advice, but don't like my live stream. It's our live stream, right? It's ours, not mine. It's ours. Let's be all inclusive. Zarak, Dr. Ak, welcome back. I recognize your name. You took step 1 today. You had 7 repeats. That's cool. I've said that, like the NBME exams, things repeat. Unless you mean like repeat from like content I've made, but that would make sense because I make content that's focused on the NBME exams, right? So everything from my content's gonna quote unquote repeat. But the NBMEs, the offline NBMEs repeat on new NBMEs, which repeat on the real deal. Marwa, what's going on? Guys, ask your question. Ali Agab, you're in Sudan. You're a doctor in Sudan. Do you think it's worth it to take steps? And can you match? Yeah, you realize that you're saying it's a visa banned country, but you realize that being from Sudan is an advantage, don't you? That's a huge advantage. Like you do realize that, right? So your visa situation, obviously, if that's gonna, get that sorted the best you can. I mean, obviously, with all the political stuff in the U.S., like get that sorted the best you can. But when if you're talking about just like applying to residency, you being from Sudan, like you would get in with a 250 over somebody over a white dude like me who's with a 275. I'm serious. Jim Solak, Mike, hello, what's going on? Monica Santos, what's going on? Zarak, you're asking if you should do step 2 before step 1, and never. And the reason, even if you're on like clinicals, you're fresher on that stuff, never, because you're going to score higher on step 2 if you do step 1 first. Like when you're in step 2, it's going to be very obvious to you why step 1 comes first. Just like everything on step 2, it's just, so if you get step 1 out of the way, study properly for step 2. That's the sequence. Abdullah, what's going on? Sam Jacob, you're the best thing that happened in my life. Well, that's cool, Sam Jacob. CSM, hey doc, you failed step 1 10 months ago. You took NBME's 2331 twice. You're doing it again. You're getting 81%. Of course, it's not predictive. You can do 19 and earlier. You can do that. My question is why, like, if the last fail was 10 months ago, it should take you like 2 months maximum to like restudy. So you need to be doing QBank. You need to be doing Mehlman QBank actually. Just so you know, guys, like, do you know how many people fail every year doing UWorld and Ambos? Do you want to know how many people fail? Like tens of thousands of people fail. Maybe not that many, but like thousands, many, many, many thousands of people worldwide fail every year. So if you're like clutching to like doing old school, like do fucking Mehlman QBank, like seriously. Obviously the YouTube, but like the new QBanks we put out. Diana, if someone has about 7 days to prepare for step 2 and is currently not passing, well, obviously if you're not passing, you got 7 days. Why would you sit it? I mean, if you're applying this year, I understand that you probably have constraints, but like, you don't want to just go into the licensing exam not passing. That's not an ideal thing to do. Jorge, good to see you again. Jorge Mendoza. You got a cool sounding name. Good morning. I have a question. If congestive heart failure is left heart failure with right heart failure, can this include diastolic, systolic failure? Yeah. Congestive just means you're backing up. Like technically it's left heart failure plus right heart failure. Yeah. But like NBME can technically give you like left heart failure congesting back to the lungs, and they can call that congestive heart failure. That's like technically also correct. Gokuha, you love the new QBank. Please add assessments, more questions. We'll add assessments. We'll do self-assessments. It's not the most pressing thing, but like we'll get there. If you guys were in the live stream yesterday and the day before, you'll know I've talked about how right now we're working on shelf QBanks for 1,000+ questions each, mini shelf QBanks for 2CK3 for EM, FM, IM, Psych, Neuro, Peds, Obs, Gang, Surge, all the shelves. We're going to have those 8 shelf QBanks to do alongside in parallel with 2CK3. That's within 3 months, that timeline. We could go faster, but like I'm still doing like very granular upgrades on like the step 1, mostly. Like I'm making extra questions for like step 1 that I feel like should go in there. Extra fucking excellent questions. That's what I'm doing. So the number's like creeping up, but I could devote my energies to like just the shelf banks, have them out sooner. But we're at 2,700 questions for step 1 now. It was like 2,400-ish when we first launched like a couple weeks ago. Emmanuel, what's going on? But we'll do self-assessments after we do the shelf QBanks. That's like end of the year and into 2026. And we're also going to do a mobile app. We're going to do that as well. That's going to come after the shelf QBanks. It's not that we couldn't get it done sooner. It's just that we're prioritizing. Factual frontier, is it possible? I just skipped you over, Raja, sorry. What's the safe score on NBMEs for step 2 CK? Just passing. I would say 225 plus, because 219 is a pass, right? So 225 plus is like good. Factual frontier, is it possible to move from 30% to 60% NBMEs in 3 weeks? Honestly, like, no. But it is possible to go from like 30 to maybe like 50 in like 3 weeks, because if you're getting 30%, it means you like don't know what aspirin does, or like you don't know what like an ACE inhibitor does. Like the stuff to go from 30 to 40 is like, what is gout? Like those are the things people are missing if you're like in the 30s to 40s. Amar, what's going on? Sultan Omar. You guys like very similar sounding names. It's Amer, and then Omar. Best way of reviewing incorrects marked questions in UWorld. What's with the UWorld? Why are we trolling? Why are we trolling? Do you mean Mehlman QBank? Is that what you mean, or new QBanks? Is that what you're talking about? Best way of reviewing incorrects and mark questions in QBank. You don't have to review incorrects. Okay. If you want to review incorrects, like I'm flattered and that's cool. But like you can just go through the QBank once. I mean, if you want to go back through incorrects, it's fine. Marked questions, same deal. Like when I personally did QBank back in the day, like I never like did no, did I? I don't even remember. Like I didn't really mark questions. I wasn't one of those people. Like I never highlighted. I never marked. I didn't really like do that stuff. Jenny, in which order should you do the Anki decks for? Are you talking about our Anki? You're talking about our Anki decks. Yeah. It doesn't really matter what order. It's just about number of hours that you spend on them. That's what matters for the Anki decks. It's just number of hours. So you can do like QBank in random mode, like let's say 8 blocks of 10 untimed tutor random, and then do like 4 hours of the Mehlman Anki. And you can do like, you just decide I'm gonna do cardio for like 2 hours, and then I'll do Palm for 2 hours. Like it really doesn't matter. Just like knock them out. Riat 97. What is your opinion on Anki cards covering missed questions in QBank? I don't think you should make Anki from QBank. Like even our QBank, like I don't think you should do that. Like I don't think it's a good use of time. Because and I'll give you a reason, okay? When you make Anki, it's overrated the process of actually making the Anki itself. Like it's not going to help you remember more. And then like you reviewing later is like you essentially doing a form of question. And it's like, if you're going to like do a form of question, just do like more actual questions, not like Anki, like from QBank. You know what I'm saying? Just like recognize that it's normal to forget things as you go through QBank. It's normal. You're not trying to remember 95% of what you read. Like you might retain 25%, but if it's high yield, it's going to show up again. Like if you do Mehlman QBank, you're going to see like, I don't know, you're going to see more than one question on cystic fibrosis. You're going to see more than one question on von Willebrand disease. So like, because those are high yield. So don't worry about like memorizing every little thing, because if it's high yield, it's going to show up again. But if it's like rare, like what does complex 1 and electron transport chain do? Like what does that do versus complex 2? We've got one question each on both of those in our QBank because the NBME has those questions. Okay, it's not the same questions. Mehlman inflates our score. It's low IQ nonsense. Okay, it's just, we know what's on the NBME exams. USMLE, NBME will ask something. And so, you know, we cover similar content. Goku Ha, I hope your QBank goes viral and surpasses UWorld. I mean, 3 to 4 years, I think, transition period before people really warm up. Let me see. I just lost where I was in the chat. I mean, that's really dependent on you guys. You realize that, right? That's dependent on you guys. Just so you know, if it goes viral. Like I can post like Instagram reels of like, you know, people get reels of like, you know, people doing our QBank and stuff, boost those posts. I can do that, but like it's really dependent on you guys, like doing the QBank, having success, and then telling your friends. That's how the QBank's gonna go quote unquote more viral, right? Jim Solak, that's right. You retract that message. You retract your message, Jim Solak. MD Cat Aspirant. QBank 60%, is that good? You're an undergrad? I wouldn't, 60s in QBank's fine. I wouldn't worry about your percentage in QBank. Just use it as like a learning tool and then use the NBMEs to assess where you're at. Sama Honey, is it normal to solve QBank 3 times and feel not confident yet? Not really. Like, I don't know why you would do QBank 3 times. Like, even if you were like, Mehlman, I want to do your QBank 3 times because it's so amazing, I would be like, well, maybe do it once thoroughly. You could reset it. You can. We have that option. That's pretty standard, right? But like, I'd rather have you do our QBank like once and then do like Mehlman Anki thoroughly with PDFs. Do the Mehlman YouTube, the QBank. The YouTube's a fucking QBank. Do that. Be like, I did Mehlman actual QBank, like written QBank. Then I did Mehlman actual YouTube, like his entire QBank. That's 2 QBanks. 1 video, 1 text. And like the Mehlman PDFs and Anki. Like you would kill it. Not fucking UWorld 3 times. It's like, that's low IQ stuff. Monica Santos, what topics in your opinion necessary to pass? Endocrine, general path. I've said high yield endocrine, high yield arrows, high yield path. You got to know that stuff. Like I'll literally have students where like they're struggling to pass, and then it's like, what does aldosterone do? And then like they can't tell me the directions for the electrolytes. Well, no fucking shit, you didn't pass. Very basic things you can ask people, and you determine whether they're going to pass or not. Very basic things. Okay, it's like, do you know where angiotensin 2 acts? Do you know what it does? Do you know what aspirin does? Okay. Do you know the inheritance pattern of cystic fibrosis, the inheritance pattern of Duchenne, von Willebrand disease, hereditary spherocytosis? Like if you don't know those, G6PD deficiency, if you can't answer those questions, that's because you're not passing. So endocrine, general path. Ali Otto. Hey Mehlman, big last month. What should I do? You're asking, should you do incorrects of QBank or go straight to NVMe? In the final 3 weeks especially, you should be on the NVMEs 20 through 31. Do 20 through 24 offline, free 120, then 25 through 31. Don't do QBank like straight into your exam. I mean, it's not cookie cutter. There's like, it's different for every student. I don't want you doing like even our QBank. I wouldn't want you doing it up till exam day. Like the final, like, depends how fast you are, depends how high your scores are. But like the final 3 weeks generally should be like NVMEs. El Sayad Oscar, you got an 83 on NVMe 31 to a 68 in free 120. I think you mentioned that yesterday. So, and I addressed it, but maybe you left the live stream. Okay, because I addressed that yesterday. But I'm saying that like, that's not normal to go from 83 on NVMe 31 to 68 on free 120. That's not normal. But the good news is that your lower boundary, you're passing. So if you fuck up like the real deal and you pass, right, you'd have like a 68 internal score. It's still a pass. Raja Pawan. CMS versus Amboss versus old NVMEs in the last 2 weeks for step TCK. Oh, no QBank at all in the last 2 weeks. Even Mehlman QBank, I wouldn't, like, you need to be focused on NVMEs. So last 2 weeks for 2CK should be 6 through 8 offline, free 120, and 9 through 15. Sam Jacob, you got to say, and if you've done some of those NVMEs already, like let's say you got 3 NVMEs remaining and you're in the final 2 weeks, you can fill in the time with other CMS forms. Yes, like redo IM, redo Surge. Sam Jacob, you got a 65 and maybe 26. Am I ready? Not really, because 65 is passing USMLE step 1 by a single question. It means if you fuck up one question, you fail. I don't like that. 68 is a good buffer. 68 plus on 3 NVMEs at least is a good buffer to sit step 1. You could YOLO. There's been times where people have to YOLO. I don't like that. It's happened and people will pass, but like, I don't think it's smart to pass by a question. Do you? I think you should pass by like a handful of questions. Katab, naive. How many Anki cards should you do per day? It's not about how many cards per day. It's about how much time per day. Do like minimum 4 hours of Mehlman Anki per day. After you do 8 blocks of 10 untimed tutor random from Mehlman QBank. Pedro, you gave NVMe 25, 26. You scored 56, 61. What should you aim for in the next NVMEs? I wouldn't. I would stop the NVMEs and you need to go back to QBank for a month. You're not passing, so don't waste the other NVMEs, Pedro. Don't waste the other NVMEs, Pedro. Do QBank for a month. Blast through Mehlman QBank. Do 80 plus questions a day. Blast through. It's only 2,700 questions. It's not 40. It's not like 4,400 like, superfluous garbage that's out there. Like do like the 2,700 consolidated, very fucking excellent questions. Bust through that in like a month, then go back and do the NBMEs you already did. Don't care about your scores on those because you already did them, but redo them anyway. And then do the NBMEs you haven't done. And you'll be like, wow, I'm scoring like high 60s now or like low 70s. Amer Alabed, I'm in my last 30 days on 2CK. I'm currently hitting almost 250, NBME 6 through 11. What should I do besides mastering NBMEs? Should I go for high yield bullet points in internal medicine? In your last 30 days? Yeah, so you did 6 through 11, blast CMS forms. You should be doing all of those. Do all the CMS forms. Free 120, and then do 12 through 15. If you've already done all the CMS forms, let's say you're already fresh on those, you've already done CMS, you're 30 days out, you could basically move up your test if you want. If you don't want to move up, you could honestly blast Mehlman QBank for like 120 questions a day. Cause like at 250, you're already solid. It's not like you're like weak. You're already really solid. You could do like endurance blasting, like 3 blocks a day, blast through it, and then do like the NBMEs. You could do that. Mona. Hey, doctor, you're the best. I scored 84% and it made me 29. Very high score. It's a very high score. Jamie Davis. That's right, Jamie Davis. You retract your message. You retract that message. Ayo Tunde. Hey, doc, I have CBSC in October and I'm 30% with a 63% done with QBank. You 30%, you're scoring 30% and you're 63% through the QBank. Is there a specific material in my PDF you think it should focus on specifically for CBSC? Yeah, I've said endocrine, arrows, and path are the pass level subjects. Like, don't be studying biochemistry and neuroanatomy and like immunology if like you don't know what like vasopressin does. Like, you can't make this shit up, okay? It's like, that's what people come to me, you know, they'll like be asking very, very, very nitpicky things about like neuroanatomy. And then I'm like, where does vasopressin act in the kidney? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, you're fucked. It's priorities. Sam Jacob. Respectfully, doc, can you throw a discount code for your QBank? Not really. Not really. That's like going to a Ferrari dealership and being like, can I get like a discount? Can I get a discount? They'll just send you across the street to like Nissan. Just like go to the thrift store. You know what I'm saying? Go to the thrift store. In all seriousness, though, like I am serious, but like we'll have like affiliates. There's some affiliates. We haven't like announced that stuff, but there's some affiliates. If you want to be an affiliate, DM me on Instagram. Okay, but you have to have some like, you can't just be like a rando with a private account. You have to have like a little bit of, you don't have to be an influencer. But you can't have like 74 followers and then be like, I want to be an affiliate. Like, if you've got some traction in your like med school, if you got some traction, we can set up a coupon system for you and you can make money off of that. We do have some people doing that. We do have some affiliates. Okay. And they get a percentage and there's a discount associated with that. But no, we're not just like handing out, you can't do that. It's not ethical. It's not ethical because there's those of you here who have paid for the Ferrari, right? So that's very good. And it's not ethical for us to just to do handouts. It's not a candy store. If you want to be an affiliate, DM me on Instagram. And for those who've DM'd me about like the social media stuff, I literally have like 50 unread messages. I have to get to that. Monica Santos, 66%, NBME 26. What topic should be covered to pass step 1? Answered it. Endocrine, path. Sama. If you give yourself a super dedicated period of a month, can Your NVME's increased from 50% to passing score. Yeah. I mean, 10% per month is like really, really robust. That's a good increase. So if you were to go from 50 to like 65 in a month, that would be like, it's not that it's not possible. It's just like, it's not typical. 6 weeks, 10% per month, right? So 6 weeks. So 5% like a 2-week period. 6 weeks. MIGs. CMS questions, are they the same difficulty as the NVMEs? Yes, they're the same questions. Find Myself asks, hi Mike, what materials should we use for step 3 to get a good score? Okay, you're gonna do step3.mehlmanmedical.com. Okay, we have 1,700 questions in the step 3 QBank. We don't want that to be a big QBank. Okay, step 3 is like, get me the fuck done with this. It's like a very in and out type of study. So we have 1,700 questions there. Do those. And you can do internal medicine PDF. That's good to do. You're going to do ccscases.com. Okay, you're going to knock out those like 3 per night. You got to do those every night. And you're going to redo ultimately when you finish QBank. You're going to do the CMS forms again, the same ones you did for 2CK. And you're going to do all the 2CK and the MEs for step 3. Yes. Will Doick. Mike, your content is biblical. Thanks, Will Doick. Michael Amra. Your step 1 score should be here tomorrow. You're ready for the 2CK stuff. Well, that's good. Start on the 2CK QBank, step2.mehlmanmedical.com. We have like 2,500 or so questions in that one. 2,700 for step 1. TJ the dog, hi Mike, is the quantity of content in PDFs, QBank, and Anki, by doing all these resources, are we essentially reinforcing the same content? Yes and no. I mean, it's like saying if you do just my YouTube, is that covering the PDFs, right? It's like there's nuanced differences. It's a Venn diagram, right? People learn differently. It's pretty mandatory to do QBank. Like even if you could even if you read PDFs perfectly and memorized everything, like you should still do QBank. And Anki, it's like it's reinforced. It's the same as the PDFs, but reinforcing it. Anki is about speed. The free PDFs are an 11 out of 10 resource. As you guys know, they're 11 out of 10 free. Anki's for speed. That's if you want to learn the PDFs faster and spaced repetition. Marwa, about time management. What's your question? Mesh Adar, what is the best way to utilize my videos? The YouTube videos you can do like when you're cooking, cleaning, at the gym, have it in your pocket, listen to it like a podcast. We cross-post them to podcast also, so you can do the podcast, right? When you're brushing your teeth, flossing, you have the YouTube clip on the counter next to you. You can do it like that. There's anecdotes of people like studying all day from the questions. There's no problem with that. I still just recommend, like I would still do a QBank and Anki/PDFs. I still recommend that. But yes, there's anecdotes of people who do like 12 hours a day of the YouTube questions only and their scores go way up. Like, yes, we have those anecdotes. But what's the best way to utilize them? You can do them random or you can do them by playlist. It doesn't really matter. Akram. You asked yesterday, but the live ended. 67 to 68%, ME's 21 to 22. Exams in 2 months, which I do to boost scores 75 to 80. 67 to 68, you can proceed to 23 upward. And as long as you're getting scores that are like 68 and above, you're fine. You can just sit, move your exam up and sit. You don't need to waste your time, go to 75 to 80. But guess what? If you really want to, you could pause your NVMEs and do Mehlman QBank for a month. step1.mehlmanmedical.com. Do the QBank, the 27 questions, blast through it in a month. Then go back to NBME's, redo 20, 21, 22, which you already did, but just like, we don't care about your scores because you already did them. Maybe you get like an 89, whatever, you did them. But then do 23 upward, and rather than getting 67, 68, you'll have like 75, 76 or something. Blast through Mehlman QBank. Either that or just move your exam up and sit with like 68% in the NBMEs, because that's still sufficient. Ali Adele, what should you suggest in the last month? Should you do UWorld incorrect or go straight to NBME? No. UWorld incorrect, laughable. Terrible. Terrible idea. Final 3 weeks NBME. Ahmed Shaker, hey Dr. Mike. Hassan, should you fill in gaps in your knowledge base with QBank, or Mehlman PDF sufficient? Well, you should always be doing QBank regardless. It's like asking, is running enough to be in shape? And like, kind of, but you still have to like eat right and lift. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have like these different domains in place. It's not like one thing. So like, if you do like just my PDS, I'm flattered, and like, yes, you're gonna learn, but like, don't you think it's smart to also do QBank? It's smart to do QBank because that's the language of the exam. Like, at the end of the day, you have to answer questions. That's what you have to do. So you can't just like read about studying French. You have to like speak French with people if you want to learn it. Ali Adel, what's the reason? That's funny. Nina, is it realistic to pass step 1 by the end of this year if your basics are not great and you have difficulty retaining? By the end of this year? That's a long time. You could pass in like 2 months, but we'd have to know where you're at. Do Mehlman QBank, Nina. The 2,700 questions. Step1.mehlmanmedical.com. Do that. And then you can do like the PDF / Mehlmananki and do the YouTube clips in your spare time. MD Ray, hey, thanks for what you were doing. Found you a bit late, but I'm glad I did. Thanks, MD Ray. Sam Jacob, please make more questions on DNA transcription / replication. Okay, I did make one today, actually. And I did in QBank. I did. I don't want to give it away because people get very, very emotional about like me. Does Mehlman artificially inflate your scores? So I don't want to like tell you what's like, but there's like, I did make stuff on that. Like, it's like, I'm sorry, I know what's on the exam. Do you want to study stuff that's not on the exam? We can make content that has no relation to USMLE and your scores won't go up. Like, will that help some people? But yeah, I actually did make a question on DNA replication today. Transcription, not replication, actually. Clockley. How do you revise previous systems that you did with First Aid and UWorld only? Have you done Mehlman content? That's how you should revise. Clockley. Who's still using FA? This isn't like 2016. Like, who's still using that? Like, I feel bad if someone's like still using that. Sesh, if I just want to pass step 1, should I do UWorld along with Mehlman QBank? Or do you think I should drop the UWorld and do? That's an interesting question. I mean, it's interesting because it shows the power of branding over time. It makes sense. Basically, what the translation of your question is, you recognize like the value of my content. It's just that you can't ignore the fact that there's like 2 decades of branding behind UWorld and the ubiquitous nature in which that QBank's been used for so long that can you really have that full confidence to just drop it? What you could do, for equanimity's sake, is you could do Mehlman QBank. This is actually good. This is tactical. You ready? This is tactical. Why don't you do Mehlman QBank and UWorld, And then you can actually compare them and be like, wow, Mehlman's QBank is actually better. Don't take my word on it. Do it. Do fucking UWorld and do Mehlman QBank. And you're like, shit, this is actually better. It's like, it is. It is better. It is better, yes. Maria Yunas. That's right. You retract that message, Maria. That's right, Maria. Retract that message. TC Cranky. You're getting 75% in random UWorld blocks, but I feel like I'm forgetting things. Should I do another passive FA? What are these trolling questions? Like, laughable. You're studying part-time along with a job. That's difficult because studying is a full-time job. Yeah, I don't know where you got your advice from. You got bad advice. It's not your fault though. You're surrounded by the wrong people. You know, that's what it is. You're surrounded by the wrong people. It's normal to forget things in QBank. That's fine. But what you could do is start using the free PDFs. Do like the cardio PDF. Do the renal PDF. Just pick up one of the PDFs and just start reading it. You're like, this is fucking good shit. Reat 97, you're on your 4th attempt at CBSE with less than a month out. You're going over NVMe incorrects, Ambas Anki, over incorrect questions. Terrible use of time. Terrible use of time. Do you recommend I should do any other additions? What I recommend is subtracting, actually. I haven't heard like of a bigger like waste of time than that. In this entire live stream, that's the worst idea I've heard that I've read so far. Terrible idea. Horrible idea. Okay, so it makes sense that you're doing your 4th attempt at, like, think about this for a second. It makes sense that you're doing your 4th attempt at CBSE because that question you asked about going over Ambas Anki, that makes sense because that's a terrible study plan. So it makes sense that you're doing your 4th attempt at CBSE and you didn't pass the first time. What happened to Mehlman content? Did you do that? Where was that in your plan? Ahmed Shaker. I scored 3 NVMEs, 29, 30, 31, above 80. But again, you scored 68 and free 120 and you're depressed. Are you serious right now? You're depressed? You're gonna get emotional about your score? You gotta dial that back. You're not a female. It's like, you're gonna get offended. No, I'm serious though. You have to be like, this is about being very equanimous. Okay, you gotta like keep yourself in check and you just study regardless. The 68 and free 120, the lower boundary, I mean, you're still passing. Don't tell me you're depressed over that though. Just do other NVMe exams. What about 20 through 28? What happened with those scores? Just do those. And if you already did those forms, you can do like 19 and earlier. CSM, NVMe's 19 earlier, same predictor as NVMe 31, triple question mark. Yeah, they're the same. We could give you like NVMe 3 blind or something. You wouldn't even know there's the difference. I did NVMe 3 online in July of 2012. That was 6 months out for my step 1 at the time. Now we have 31. We didn't know how to prepare back then because we didn't have any NVMEs. Like now you have 31 NVMEs to tell you what's on the USMLE, right? We didn't know. It was like we were going by like Kaplan. We were like, Kaplan knows. It's like Kaplan didn't know shit. Like they were terrible. Bruce Knight. Do you have any tips or advice for anatomy questions? Anatomy sucks, doesn't it? Well, we have an anatomy MSK rheumatology PDF. You can do that. You can do that. Bashar, do NMEs overpredict or underpredict? Neither. They're accurate. They're accurate. So if you get a score on NMEs that's above or below your real deal, it's accurate. The same way, who was it that was just talking about the 68 versus the 80s? Who was that? The comment I just read, though, about like getting 80s. Oh, yeah. Ahmed Shaker. Like that type of thing, they're all accurate. It can happen. But they're all accurate. They don't overpredict or underpredict. DBM, yo, I love your work. Need some advice. I'm going to start preparing for USMLE Step 1 in a few months. How many months should I study for it? I would say like 3 months, 3 to 4 months, 3 months. You can do Mehlman QBank, Mehlman PDFs with the Anki, and do the YouTube clips, and then come out and just do the NBMEs, and you're good to go. What do I suggest in the final month? I already answered that question, Ollie. You asked it numerous times. It's okay. Guys, give the video, give the live stream a like. Tawfiq, is it a big deal if I only do the new CMS forms, not all of them? It's not a big deal, but I would just do all of them. Just do all of them. Bashar, please do more YouTube Step 2 CK3. Yeah, I can. I mean, I purposely don't make 2CK titles for the videos. Like I won't make a question that's titled like FM or Surge or something. You know why? Because those of you who are studying for Step 1, you get very emotional and you don't want to touch 2CK videos. But if I just say like GI and you enter the video and it happens to be 2CK, you'll watch it anyway. And you're like, shit, I actually learned from this. But I see the analytics. So I don't title the questions like 2CK. I just go by like organ system usually. But yeah, I can make like next vista management more of those questions. I can. Maze, hey, Dr. Mike, hope you're doing fine. Just notice that there's no infectious disease microbiology PDF, right? Well, we've got microbiology modules. We have a course for micro. We have a course, and we also have the micro Anki. Sam Jacob, can you please explain the DNA replication nonsense? What do you want explained about that? We have the biochem PDF. We have the biochem PDF. One of the NBME questions, they ask about cyclophosphamide, guanine N7 alkylating agent, and they give like 10 answers, and the answer is DNA replication. Did I just artificially inflate your score because I told you like what's asked on the USMLE? Mehlman artificially inflates your score because he told me that what I need to know about cyclophosphamide is that they're going to ask me what it does, and the answer is it inhibits DNA replication. I just artificially inflated your score. Are you upset? One face X. How can I get a guaranteed 260 on Step 2? What QBank in what sequence? There's no guarantees. You have to be like decently intelligent to get a 260. But for 2CK, you're going to do Step 2 Mehlmanmedical.com. So you're going to do the 2,500 questions in the Step 2 QBank. And you'll come out of that, you'll do the CMS forms. And you'll do NBME 6 through 8 offline. You'll do the second pass of all the CMS forms. Then you'll do free 120. And then you'll do 9 through 15 NBMEs. Eddie, thanks for the super chat. Sorry for being late. Step 2 in 30 days, do 82% of UWorld. Is it possible to do all CMS times 2? No, in 30 days. How would you do 2? If you did 2 per day, it would take you like 3.5 weeks to do the CMS forms. You could do 1 pass the CMS forms. So if you're doing 82%, you finished 82%. you could postpone. You could see how you go on the NBMEs. If you get like high scores, you could sit, but you could technically like postpone. You could technically postpone to do like the CMS forms twice. You could technically. Let me scroll out. Oh, Jamie, I didn't even see your super chat. Sorry, Jamie. You're going through Anki and week and material. You're probably like, why the fuck did he like skip mine? Because you're way higher up. Going through Anki and week material. Should you be doing questions now in my QBank? Or do Anki first? No. Start QBank right away. Don't delay QBank. Don't protract your starting point for QBank because you're trying to pre-study, quote unquote. Don't do that. I'm flattered if you want to do the Anki first. If you're very, very, very efficient, fine, okay? Most people aren't like super efficient. Like you can co-study them. You could do like 8 blocks of 10 untimed tutor random and then do like 4 hours on the Anki. You could co-study them. You scroll back up. Mr. Clozo with a bunch of Arabic that I can't read. What are your thoughts on Ambos as only QBank source for step 1? Mr. Clozo. I wonder like what you've been exposed to in terms of like influence to this point. Like what have you read? Like who told you that was a way to plan? Who told you? Was it like a friend? Was it Reddit? Like who imbued you with that strategy where the question you ask in this feed is that? Like it culminated in this moment where that was the question that you asked, right? It's interesting that was like the question you thought was like the most like pivotal. It's a terrible way to prep. Terrible. Dinesh, what to do prior to 45 days before the exam? Prior to 45 days or within 45 days? And which exam are you talking about right now? The point is though, it's going to be NBMEs in the final like 3-ish weeks for both exams. How's that? I'll do a RAM. Does it matter if I always do QBanks in blocks of 10 till I finish it? Obviously, the NBMEs free when training me time. It's fine. It's overrated doing blocks of 40 or doing them in time. You can do tutor mode. I did tutor mode like for my QBank back in the day. Like you'll have the NBMEs timed. Unless timing is specifically an issue for you, it's like you don't have to worry. If you personally are like, no, you don't understand. I'm really bad with time. I'm always like finishing late. If that's you, fine, do times. But you can do like blocks of 10 in tutor mode and you're perfectly fine. You can just do the NBMEs and you have no problem. It's mainly just if you're weak. That's how you are slow. Is if like people who struggle with time, it's really like nobody who's actually strong and knows their stuff struggles with time. You understand? If you know the stuff, then like there's no reason you should be hovering on a question for ages. It's really just a knowledge-based thing. Jorge, in your free PDF documents, do you know where I can find blood transfusion hypersensitivity reactions? Hematology? Blood transfusions. That's hematology. There's a table in there. The transfusion reactions. Just search like Control F, like high yield transfusion reactions. Hanu, hey Mike, how to overcome fatigue? Like my first 3 blocks of NBME are good, around 68%ish, but the last block it dips to 50s. That is concerning to me. That is concerning to me. Because what that indicates to me is mental weakness. Like you just have to not like lose it. Like what is it about the 4th block where you lose your cool? Like you have to understand something here. Okay, I want you to understand this. If you're in a surgery and you're like you're 4 hours into the surgery. Are you going to be like, oh, I was tired in the last we fucked up the last 20% of your surgery because I was tired. Like, you understand? So these things are a screening mechanism. Like, if you fuck up the last block and that is your reason for performing poorly on the licensing exam, then you're effectively weeded out from the medical profession for a good reason. Or sorry, I prescribed you the wrong stuff because I was tired at the end of the day. We can't have those excuses. Bashar Omari, how to crush patient safety and ethics. We've got an ethics PDF, and in our QBank, we have plenty of patient safety and ethics questions. We have ridiculous, a lot of safety stuff in our QBank. Step1.mehlmanmedical.com, step2.mehlmanmedical.com. We put safety and ethics in there. Glove use, hand washing, alcohol use for your hands, raising concerns, a lot of that stuff. Sam Jacob, I think you should make the pricing more favorable. The prices are low, they're not high. Walk into a Ferrari dealership and say that you think their prices should be more favorable, and they would laugh in your face. We're okay weeding out the bottom feeders. We don't want whiny, poor people engaging our stuff, because those are the people who are most resentful and bitter and complain. We don't want those people. It's always the people who are poor, who are resentful and bitter, and just very resentful people. DBM, what's your opinion on doing the old questions, previous USMLE exams, which you find online? You've heard people get blasted if they get caught, but is it worth it? I don't know anything about that. I wouldn't do, if you're talking about that recall bullshit and stuff, all that stuff's a scam. It's karmic. Don't buy into that stuff. That stuff can catch up. You don't want to do that. Karmic. There's no shortcuts. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. And even if you cut corners and you somehow got away with it, it's in the back of your mind that you suck. And that's going to catch up with you. You'd be in some residency somewhere surrounded by people smarter than you because they actually scored what they're supposed to score. And you're man, I suck. You don't want that. Just study normally. Someone left a comment, super comment. Jamie Davis, thank you again. Appreciate it. So you ask, should I do 40 questions per day, and do I review the answers or look at summary and keep doing Anki after random all subjects? Or I would go through QBank in random mode, untimed tutor. That is for most people, 40 to 80 per day. And by doing tutor mode, you see the explanation after each question, not at the end. Finish questions first, then do Anki after. Don't do Anki at the same time as your questions. Don't be going to and from Anki, none of that nonsense. You scroll back up. Syed, hey buddy, I did all NVMEs offline, just NVMe 31 is still in use. What percentage should be in NVMe 31 for the Passel? 65% is pass on all NVMEs. We want 3 NVMEs 68 plus for you to sit. We want that buffer space. Bashar Omari, will you ever need other people in the trial of your QBank? If so, there's no trial anymore. There's no trial anymore. These QBanks are live right now. A couple months, 2 to 4 months back, we had people doing phase 1 clinical stuff essentially for our banks, but these are live QBanks right now. The translation of your question was you're poor and you're asking for a free, you want free access to the QBank. Just do the demo. That's your free access. It's 10 questions. Or just do the free stuff tab, like the free PDFs. Kamran, what is the ideal time span finishing the last NBME to sit and do the USMLE in 2 weeks gaps? You should basically have your last NBME like 3 days before your real USMLE. The final 3 weeks should be like NBMEs 20 through 31, free 120. And then you should maybe 3 days before is your last NBME. Second day out is like 2 days before your exam is like just custom study review. The day before your exam should basically be like a non-study day. Look over a few notes, pretty much non-study, chill day. The honored one, what's going on? Dan S., your comment looks very chaotic. You had a queue, you were busy, answered, US citizen to, bro, your comment is chaotic. Crazy comment. Thanks for the no BS, I get that. Kieran, what's going on, Kieran? Can you do biostats modules a week or 10 days before the exam? Yes and no, because you can't cram biostats, you know what I mean? You can't cram biostats. Like you have to do biostats longitudinally, where you do like 2 modules per evening from our course. If you go to the Mehlmanmedical.com, we've got a biostats course. We have a free biostats PDF as well. But our course, we have like good modules with quizzes and stuff. But you got to study that longitudinally. Like don't cram biostats. Tawfiq, what about high yield concepts for step 2? Everything. Step 2 is literally everything. Internal medicine, surge, everything. Hey, Mike, I have a month before my CCSE. You got a 214 on your first attempt. You decided to do AMBOSS for your second attempt. Do you recommend I continue, or would you gain more value doing my QBank? It's a very like, that question's like interesting because you're asking me directly. You're asking the content creator directly if they think their content is worth doing over, I mean, like our QBank is better, yes, like it is, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be like more humble or something, if that's like a test of hubris or like what that's really delving at there, like what the EQ component of that question was. You just want a bit more confidence, reassurance. Melvin, thank you for what you do, man. Tell me others about you. They're so set in their ways of nonsense resource. But as you said, it's all karmic at the end of the day. Miriam, hey, Dr. Mike, if I use your QBank, should I use UWorld as well or QBank? Guys, if you want, you can do it at the same time. Don't take my word for it that our QBank's better than UWorld. Like, do it at the same time, and then you'll be like, fuck, this is better. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. Right? Don't take my word for it. Do it at the same time. You'd be like, shit, this is actually better. Holy shit. Leica S, your recent NBME score 45%. Should you take step 1 5 weeks? No. You need 3 months. Leica. You need 3 months. 10% per month is like good. Guys, I should wrap this up because it's been an hour. Mo asks, how unusual time for step 1? Give the live stream a like, please. How unusual for step 1 preparation? How many hours minimum for it? 3 months minimum, 8 hours per day minimum study. Bhaskar, what's the correct percentage to aim in QBanks? To aim for 260 plus on 2CK? Basically like in the 80s and higher. You gotta be in the 80s and higher. 2CK, mid 80s and up. Ali, you asked, is it good to binge watch 200 videos of my path playlist before solving every NBME? Well, you should be doing the YouTube videos alongside QBank and the PDFs and the Anki before you touch the NBMEs in the first place. So you should already have a lot of those videos watched prior to starting NBMEs. Mansi, what do you do in the last week for step 3? The last week for step 3 is you're going to be doing all the 2CK NBMEs again. Yes, for step 3. You're going to do all the CMS swims. You're going to do all the step 2 NBMEs, 6 through 15 for 120. And you're going to do the step 3 NBMEs. And you're also going to have your CCS cases that you've been doing every night. This is after you finish step 3, Mehlman QBank. You do step 3 .mehlmanmedical.com. That's 1,700 questions in that. You can bust that out. Jamie Davis, minimum 40 questions per day, yes. Zoma, did you choose a specialty or did you stick to being a tutor only? I run a business. Like, we have a business. This isn't like, what do you mean tutor only? Tutoring is like a very small portion of what I do. We used to be a service only business, yes, but we're not service only anymore. Now we've got product. That product is QBanks. We've got Anki. We've got courses. Tutor only. Well, it started off like that, right? It started off like that. And things evolve. That's a good question, Io Tunde. Do you want us to still screenshot the NBMEs into Anki and review them? You don't have to do that. I had made prior clips talking about how when you go through NBMEs 20 through 31 or 60 through 15, that you can screenshot your incorrects, put them into Anki and review. You can do that, but it's not mandatory. Like, I don't specifically prescribe that to students anymore, really. Like, I don't particularly prescribe that, but you can do that. You can. It's an option. Duck Tornator, is there any plans to make Mehlmanmedical high-yield QBanks into apps for mobile devices? Yes. I mentioned it earlier in the live stream. Okay, that we could do that within like 2 to 3 weeks, but it's not our focus right now. I said our focus is that we're making shelf mini QBanks right now. So we're going to make 1,000+ question banks called the Shelf series for EM, FM, IM, Surge, Peds, Obs, Guy, Neuropsych, the 8 shelves to do alongside 2CK3 main QBanks. That's within 3 months, those will be out. Okay. Then we'll probably, it might be like an amalgamated trajectory of like making self-assessments and also working on mobile app. And then we're also going to be working on an online platform that's sort of like a library/card interface. That's like a QBank feel with analytics and the 8 color schemes that we have in our QBank. It'll be like a QBank feel, very nice, all the analytics there, but it's like you're doing our PDFs in a library feel with cards. It'll be an option for you guys. That's less granular right now. That latter project, that's less granular. That'll that's like a pixelated idea that might come together like in 2026. Crystal, you passed step 1 in May. You're studying for step 2 since then. You've got a 40% UWorld remaining. Do you think you can apply this cycle, or should you just wait and study properly? Well, as long as you can pass step 2, you can apply. You don't need a high score in step 2. You can just pass step 2. So long as you pass step 2, but you still have 40% UWorld left, that's fine. You realize Mehlman QBank's only 2,500 questions for step 2, and that's sufficient. UWorld's what? Like, I mean, if It's basically, you've basically finished the same length as our QBank. I mean, our QBank's better, but like, it's not a crisis that you have 40% remaining. Do the CMS forms. That's what I would do. You could spend 3.5 weeks in the CMS forms, then do the NBMEs, see how you go. Kusarov Cohen, my score on the last 4 NBMEs has been stuck around 65 to 68. What should you do? Those scores are not bad at all. But I would want to know like your timeline a bit more. Like, when is your exam? How much QBank did you do? How much Mehlman content did you do? That's what I'd want to know. Ahmed KH, you're asking, hey Mike, why they say 60% is a pass while 196 equals 65%? 60% is not a pass for step 1. That's a fail. Maybe that's tactical. Maybe like NBME wants you to fail so that you have to pay them again. You ever think about that? Think about like how disingenuous and slimy that would be. But they could like technically do that and you would never know because it's like internal scoring. Like they could say, hey guys, you know what I just thought of? If we lie to the populace and tell them that pass is like 60 and this percentage fail because of that, because they have all the stats, we make like an extra 12 million a year and people I mean, like, think about that. Be slimy, disingenuous, right? 60% is not a pass. 65% is a pass. USMLE 00. Hello, I got 65, 43, 75 for 120. I'm really worried as I dropped. I was scoring 72% NBME. Should be postponed. What is the 43? Where did that come from? What is that 43? Dr. Amen, step 2, prep going on for now. UWorld did step 1 with Mehlman and passed. JK, is it still best to do random mode in UWorld? You guys, there's got to be a reprogramming. There's got to be a reprogramming. Okay? We've got QBanks. See, because the thing is, I'm balancing. It's like walking a tightrope. It's like I don't want to every 2 seconds push our own stuff because that annoys some of you, right? You don't want that. You're like, Mike, stop pushing your own stuff. But at the same time, I have a responsibility to tell you how to max your scores. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you're going to max your scores and pass fastest by doing our stuff, that's the truth. And I'm articulating that. Simultaneously, I'm like, well, if I'm pushing my own stuff, people think I'm an asshole because I'm pushing my own stuff. But it's like, you're talking about doing UWorld. Bad fucking idea. Holy shit. Holy shit. Bad fucking idea. How's that? Mehlman says a bad idea. Holy shit. Right? That'll get some laughs on Reddit. Mehlman says do his QBank over UWorld. LOL. Holy shit. That's some hilarious shit right there. I mean, give it 3 to 4 years, and then those are the people who are going to be like fucking like DMing me about like how they're doing my QBank for step 3, and like that shit will go down. Thanks, Nick. I'm going to answer like one more question. Andrea. Off topic, but what zodiac sign are you? I'm Aquarius. How important is research? Not really important. That stuff's overrated because people embellish. No one cares about your 24 papers that were bullshit, okay? Like they would rather see one meaningful paper. A lot of that stuff's embellished. And a lot of that stuff only matters at like the apex competitive programs where everyone is like equally smart and personable, and like that stuff can have an impact. But like overall, it's embellished. Let me see. Maybe I'll answer one more. By the way, I'm so, like, it's a good number of you who wrote comments, because like you can't comment in this chat unless you've been subscribed at least 20 minutes. So that means I only allow old subscribers basically. So it's a good number of you guys. I'll do more of these live streams. Pragnesh, are you planning on doing your step 2 QBank? What are you talking about? We have a step 2 QBank. Step2.mehlmanmedical.com. Brizzler, where is your QBank? In the description. We have the links in the description. Step1.mehlmanmedical.com. Step2.mehlmanmedical.com. Step3.mehlmanmedical.com. The links are there in the description. All right, guys. I'll do more of these.